Hello and welcome to this video about the labs course for Chem 106 in this summer 2026 semester. So the primary purpose of this video is just to give you a little bit of insight about kind of what to expect, what kinds of things that you can do in advance of our first day of lab, and just knowing some of the basics about what is going to happen in lab and how it kind of blurs with lecture and kind of what the expectations are overall. So, first thing that we're going to do is we want to look at the summer schedule here. So, on this summer schedule, what you'll see is, first of all, every day has something going on with it. And what we need to understand is that there are basically two labs every day. There is morning lab that goes from roughly 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock every day. And then there is afternoon lab. Afternoon lab goes from after lunch until 3:30 on Monday through Thursday. There is no afternoon lab on Fridays. And the reason for that is very, very simple. By the time we get to Friday, a lot of the times we're pretty cooked. By the time we get through the lecture and whatever the morning activity is. And you'll see if you look at our morning activities for the most part on those Fridays, we're doing either small things. So actually, the first Friday is the only Friday that we actually do an experiment where we have to wear goggles and break out chemicals and that kind of thing. And it's really just finishing what we started the previous day. There isn't a whole lot to it otherwise. Aside from that, you're going to see skill builder, quiz, no lab on that day at all, exam, final. So most of the time, our Fridays are quizzes or skill builders. In this case, because we're starting on a Thursday and there isn't a whole lot to review yet, we're going to just take that time on Friday morning to finish up the lab. And really, this analysis itself probably only takes 45 minutes to an hour. You're still going to get out a little bit early on that Friday to start things off. But what you'll notice is that most of the time, we are going to be doing two labs at a time. So, morning lab will be the start of one lab, and hopefully the finish of it, or at least the finish of the data collection. And then we'll come back to data analysis after lunch or just the outright completion of a lab. We get into afternoon, usually it's a different experiment, and we're working off of, a similar kind of skill, or sometimes we're going to be doing some things that are a little bit different. One of the things that is different is in this lab, you will be doing something called qualitative analysis. Qualitative analysis is kind of like it's kind of like a puzzle of sorts. You're going to be working to use selective precipitation to try to figure out what ions are present in a given solution. And we're going to teach you all about how to do it and what to look for and all of that other stuff. But it is different from Chem 105 lab, where almost everything that you did was quantitative and crunching numbers and validating some sort of theory, showing some sort of law as being um, usable, or determining the empirical formula or something like it, which all, a lot of numbers oriented stuff. There's still some of that in this class, but it's considerably less. Now, notice also, if you've already watched the lecture video, you've already seen that these quizzes and exams are embedded into the lab schedule. And again, that's intentional. I have put extra hours into the lab to give us the opportunity to do these lecture activities in the framework of the laboratory so that we have more time to work on lecture stuff in lecture and not having to, okay, let's stop and take a quiz, let's stop and do this, that kind of thing. For those of you that are familiar with my Chem 105 structure from Chem 105 lab, It's the same kind of structure here in 106 Lab. Generally speaking, everything is due on a given day of the week. That given day for this class is Monday nights. So the first two experiments that you do in that week one, those will be due with their corresponding quizzes on Monday night. The next week, all of these activities that you do, all will be due on Monday night, with the exception of you're doing a formal lab report. So I'm going to have the draft of that lab report due by Friday night, the Friday night at the end of the week. And one of the reasons for that is I'm giving you time to work on it here. Um, but I want to give you that deadline of that particular Friday so that I can start working on grading them over the weekend, early into Monday, so that I can go through the process of sending them back to you, giving you feedback over them so that you can produce a better version of the final draft. But that requires some time. Um, so for that one, that is kind of an exception to the rule. When we get to the end of the semester, you'll see that that Monday rule doesn't really hold up because our semester ends on a Thursday, but we're still doing labs on Monday. So it gets modified a little bit there as well. But you can see, you know, draft is due for on 6/5. The final report's due on the 15th. Sounds like a quick turnaround, and it is. It's just as quick for me as it is for you. But when the course itself is only 34 days long, everything's truncated. Everything's a little bit faster. So instead of giving myself a normal 2 weeks to get the drafts back to you, I probably need to get them back to you by midweek of that week that you turned it in. So, you're going to look to get it back from me somewhere around the 9th or the 10th so that you can turn around and fix it for the 15th. And I'll tell you from experience, you know, there's around 10 of you enrolled in the lab. That's going to take more than 5 minutes to do. That's going to require some pretty heavy lifting on my part to get it graded and give you good feedback. So, we're both under that kind of pinch and that kind of stress. Um, so again, you can see the way that things are set up. Most of the time, you're going to have things to do. And sometimes the things, so like the skill builders, yes, they're technically due on Friday, or I'm sorry, on Monday night, but you're going to have it completely done when you leave class that Friday. You're going to have this other skill builder completely done by the time you leave class on that Tuesday morning. It's going to be completely done. All you need to do is turn it in. So even though those are both technically on this checklist, you'll already have them done. So that's the schedule overall. And so you can see that, the stuff that I've bolded in here, for the most part, that is stuff that is either just alerting to you to a major deadline or is lecture stuff that we're doing during lab time. Now, as far as the syllabus goes, again, I'm not going to read the syllabus to you. Some things that you do need to know, though. So, Lab Archives is our primary means for accessing our lab notebooks. The access to that is covered in your course fees. So, really, all that you need to do is go into Blackboard, find a Lab Archives lab link in there, click through that. It'll make your notebook. It'll set you up. You also want to have your own goggles. This is a lab where safety glasses are absolutely not permitted. So if you just have, glasses that go over your face like this, as opposed to actual safety goggles, those are not going to be sufficient. You want goggles like this that are going to cover you up. And Another thing that you need to be super cognizant of is it does get pretty warm in June, most Junes here. And so it's gonna you're gonna feel like wearing shorts and t-shirts and other kinds of summer gear. You can't do that in the lab. We're working with stuff that's pretty nasty most of the time. So make sure that you have with you at all times lab clothes. So even if you don't come into class into the lecture with the appropriate lab gear. Have it on your person somewhere. Have it in your bag, have it in your backpack, have it in your purse or whatever. Make sure that you've got the right stuff so that you can participate in lab. Because if you can't, if you don't, a lot of the times I'm going to say, no, you can't do this. You can't do this wearing shorts. You definitely can't do any of our labs wearing flip-flops or sandals. You need to have real shoes. You need to have, basically following every single characteristic laboratory rule that you can think of from Chem 105 or from any chemistry lab for that matter. And we're starting, you saw the schedule. We're starting day one, minute one of lab. We're doing a techniques lab that you have never done before. And you're going to be working with centrifuges, which probably most of you have not seen before, along with doing some other techniques like decanting and complexing and doing redox reactions. You don't want to do that in a tank top and shorts. You don't. So make sure that you're dressed appropriately at all times for lab. If it's going to be a problem because of the weather, like I said, have a bag ready that you just keep with you all the time. Store it in the lab room that first day so that it's always there. And that way, if you forget, you have a quick change of clothes that you can use and you can just change back out of them after the lab is over. So I won't read most, if not all of this to you. Like I said, this area here about proper lab dress is super important. It's also covered in the safety section, which is kind of your first homework assignment for the lab. Um, just to kind of read and review those policies. You can skip over most of this stuff because again, in our case, unless there's a particularly dire situation, none of you are going to be missing lab in any kind of meaningful way. And if you do, um, within reason, we'll try to make it so that it works. Otherwise, we do drop the lowest lab score and we do drop the lowest skill builder so that if you did miss, there would not be a need to necessarily make those up and try to figure out how to get into the lab for those extra hours. Um, A couple of other things, though. This course is a reading writing intensive course. If you have not taken a reading writing intensive course before, there are some extra requirements that go along with it, in addition to just kind of your normal course requirements. And one of them is that you have to have extra writing assignments. Those writing assignments have to meet certain criteria and they have to make up 30% of the grade. So, how we are approaching that in this course is there are two formal lab reports that you have to do. One of them is over kinetics. That first kinetics lab report we're doing early in the second week. That's the one I was referencing before. The other one is a formal lab report around your lab practical. That lab practical is part of your final exam for this course. So, um, those two assignments together make up the 30% that are required for the writing, reading intensive requirements. So, obviously, if you do not do those assignments, it becomes extremely difficult for you to pass the class. Since they make up 30%, if you take zeros on both of them, then the best you can do in the class is a 70%. You would have to be perfect in all other areas of the class to maintain a C. Otherwise, you would automatically drop to a D or down to worse. So we'll get into more of the specifics about what those assignments look like as we get closer to them. Certainly, we'll talk about the kinetics formal lab report first. But as we grow closer to the lab practical, we'll talk about what that is and what it looks like, what kind of the requirements are from there. So that's really all that I wanted to get into with this particular video. So kind of your preliminary assignments off of this video are as follows. Um, get into Blackboard, make sure that you click through one of those lab archives links to create your notebook. Do that as soon as you are able to, so that we can hit the ground running with the first lab experiment on Thursday morning, and then review and kind of read through the syllabus, make sure that you understand it. And if there are any questions about anything, please feel free to reach out to me. But I want to thank you for your attention, and more importantly, thank you for taking this class because I think we're going to have a pretty good summer term. And I'm glad that you all are going to be coming along for the ride. So thank you, and I will see you soon.